As I was thinking about our TED Talk today and thinking about the audience that we have here, I started to reflect back on some of the different student leaders that I've seen throughout my career, the opportunities that I've had to interact with them. I've been very fortunate, very lucky to have the opportunity to have worked with students from all over the globe. I've had the opportunity to advise them, to see them develop, to see them in their careers, their work, their classrooms. And what's interesting about them is that you'll have some that'll come in and they just punch their ticket. They just punch the clock. They're here to get a degree. They come from home. They go to class. They go to work. They go home. And then there's the other students. They're the ones who start to develop into leaders. They're the ones who start to make an impact on our schools, our communities, their lives, their careers. Today, I want to share their story with you and to help present a formula to you that you might use. In some of the different research, the talks, the focus groups, the staff meetings, the team meetings I've had with these students, I keep asking them, what's the difference between the student who comes in and just punches the clock and the one who develops into a leader? So today I want to share with you what they've said to me over the years. My colleagues and I talk about this development as a leadership journey. And as we go throughout the conversation today, I want you to think about your leadership journey. Where are you at now? Where do you want to be? And how might you get there? The other thing that I want you all to consider is that you are all leaders and you all absolutely have the ability to lead. Some of you may be a little ways down that journey, a little ways down that path. Others of you may not have taken that step. As we go through a couple slides here today, I hope you consider that. When we think about students having a leadership ability, we start talking about the ability to lead from wherever you are. See, leaders don't have to have the title of CEO, of president, of captain in order to lead. Students can lead, frontline staff can lead, managers can lead, directors can lead. Everybody has that different leadership ability within them. Sometimes when we think about pop culture and we think about our society, we tend to think of leaders as being extroverted. We think about them being athletic, or the president of something, or they're good looking. I'm here to say today that if I look at those leaders throughout the students that we've developed, the ones who have made a real impact on their schools, their communities, and their careers, they're the ones who are introverted. They're also extroverted. They're intelligent. They're curious. They've all looked at themselves at the beginning and said, maybe not necessarily that they had the ability to lead, but they found that. So I want to share with you that formula. And this is one of the things that they've all said. Now I want you to also think about these students look just like you. They come from small rural towns. They come from big urban cities. They come from wealthy families. Sometimes they come from very poor families. Some come from caring families. Some come from extremely broken homes. But they've all said, I want to make a difference. I want something to be different. And when I asked them what made that difference, they said three things: people, experiences, and passion. And you might be sitting there thinking, well, that's too easy. Surely it has to be more complicated or complex than that. And I would just offer for you this quote, that success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. I'll never forget a conversation I had with a student one time when he was telling me about his organizational behavior class and how it was one of the easiest classes and it was a blow-off. And I said to him, well, why is that? He said, well, it's, well, duh, of course you should be doing these things, right? You start talking about people and business and how humans interact, and yet that's one of the toughest things for folks to do. It seems easy. As we go through these different things, I ask you, how might you be able to take a step forward in each one of these different disciplines? The first one is people. Every student I talked to said that they had somebody that positively affected their lives. Sometimes it was a mentor, sometimes it was a role model, a family member. It was somebody who cared about them. Maybe it was a friend, a student group that they joined, a team that they were in class with. It was somebody or a group of people who challenged their sense of normal, helped to really broaden their horizons and show them what different possibilities existed out there. It was about somebody who believed in them, somebody who cared about them. I was having a conversation with a national education leader a couple weeks ago, and this is a great quote from her. She said, often the best leadership lessons come when our sense of normal is challenged or disrupted. So I want you to think about the people who are in your lives right now. Who's helping to challenge your sense of normal? Who's helping to disrupt you, to have you see new horizons, to consider new possibilities? Are you still hanging out with the same folks from high school? Are they going places or are they not? If you're hanging out with the same group of people and you're surrounding yourself with the same folks who aren't helping you to find those new horizons or new possibilities, you have to ask yourself, why are you expecting things to be different? Think about the people you're with and how were they positively affecting you. The next thing that the students said is that they absolutely had to have different experiences. And I offer to you that at no other time in your lives will you have as many opportunities or experiences that you have right now. But for those students, they had to take a step. They had to step through one of those open doors. And sometimes they had to even recognize that that door existed. A lot of times we hear from students, well, I don't have enough time. I have to work. I have a job. I have bills. I have this going on. I have to go out with my friends. We hear all these different things. What I generally hear from them, I can't. I won't. I'm afraid. I don't know how. See, all of those students who made that successful transition from being just that ordinary student to being that leader found some way to start to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. And as a leader, you need to start thinking about that. How do I become comfortable with the uncomfortable? For some of them, it was just raising a hand in class. Now think about that. It sounds something very similar or something very easy to do, right? But think about it, a very introverted person. The idea of talking in front of a huge group is a very tough step to take. That transformed from that person raising that hand to joining a student organization as a member, to becoming an executive board member of that student organization, to leading leadership conferences, getting an internship, a job, their first promotion, and finding the passion in their career. All came from something as simple as just raising their hand. These doors are going to open for you all the time. It's up to you to be able to recognize that door and that you actually have to take a step through it. If we go back to the students who keep saying that I don't have time, I have to do all these different things, you need to balance for yourself in your leadership journey what's immediate versus what's important. You may have immediate needs that you have to take care of right now, but these students who were able to transform themselves were able to put aside some of the immediate and focus on the important, to think about where they wanted to be on their leadership journey and get themselves there. The next one is finding your passion. And an amazing thing starts to happen when you're able to combine people with experiences. You start to open your world to new and different ideas, and then you get to find your passion. Luckily for me, my passion is my career. Every morning I get up with a smile on my face, and I'm excited to go to work. I'm excited to have an effect on students' lives, on researchers, on faculty. Now I want you to think about how many people do you have in your life that are excited and have a smile on their face when they go to work? Now how many people talk about the daily grind? How many people, when you ask them the question, how are things? Well, it is what it is. Or same thing, different day. I'll never forget, I walked into my mentor's office one day and I said that. It is what it is. And he just looked at me, he goes, well, that's a darn shame. Why aren't you doing something about it? And it kind of took me back. Why aren't I doing something about it? And really sort of just challenged the way I was thinking about things. Folks often will say, and there's some great quotes out there, but really it boils down to, if you can have your passion as your career, you'll never work a day in your life. And I really do believe that. If you can find your career and your passion and tie those things together, if you can start to make an impact in your community, you'll make profound effects out there and you'll absolutely love doing it. And then the neat thing starts to happen. When you start to combine people and experiences and passion, you start to find other people who like to do the same sort of things. And then together, you get to start doing some very powerful things. And that's where leadership really starts to come in. Bringing people together for a common goal. And sometimes those goals can be very powerful, whether it's as a student, whether it's as a community leader, whether it's you're in your careers. You combine these three things, it becomes very powerful. As you leave here today, I want you to think about those three things: people, experiences, and passion. And I want you to think about your leadership journey. Where are you at it right now? If you're here and you want to go to here, how are you going to get there? What's your plan to get there? One of my favorite quotes of all time is, "A goal without a plan is nothing but a wish." A goal without a plan is nothing but a wish. So if you think back to that formula, and we have people, we have experiences, we have passion, how can you take a step forward in one of those areas? How can you take a step forward in all of those areas? How can you start to make a difference? How do you balance the immediate versus the important? What's your leadership journey? How have you been up to this point, and where do you want to go? The last comment that I'll leave you with today is, leaders help shape the future. How will you shape yours? Thank you.